Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alphabets Football Talk Show. Sorry, we were having some technical difficulties there. Hope everybody's having a great evening. Once again, we're going to do what we do every Friday night, bring you a little bit of football knowledge to the best of our ability, get your mind off of some of the real world stuff that's going on. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my lovely co-host, Miss Ramona Diehard Dies up in the house. How you doing, Miss Di? You doing all right?
Doing pretty good. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm ready to rock and roll. A lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of stuff to talk about in the next 2 hours. And with my first guest, I've been knowing her for about long time, 35 years or so. We went to school together. I got J-Ro in the house, my Cardinals fan, to cover the Arizona Cardinals for me tonight. How you doing, J-Ro?
Hi, how you doing?
All right. Now.
Y'all ready to talk some football?
Let's go. Welcome to the show. And then my last guest tonight has been on a few of our other shows on the Rise Up platform. My boy, my brother from another mother. I got Tito Tollett up in the house. Tito Thomas, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guy? Let's do this.
Welcome to the show. So, as you all know, every week, what we've been doing for the past 2 months nearly, we've been covering each division. This is part 7 of our 8-part series covering all the divisions. And tonight we are going to focus on the NFC West. All right, we're going to talk about that for the next 2 hours. But like we do every week, we start off with the news. And I think the biggest thing going on, once again, I like to always elaborate. This is not a political show, so we don't want to sit up here for 2 hours to talk about it. But whenever politics meets a little bit of sports, we have to talk about it because it's the news. That's our job. So I'm sure everybody's heard about what's going on with the Washington. Well, they're not even the Washington Redskins anymore. They officially retired the name on Monday. We talked about that a little bit last week. The renaming of the team. We've heard a few different names for a team. I've heard Warriors. I've heard Red Tails. I've heard Red Hawks, Red Wolves. It's going to be red something, it seems like it. But the thing that's really pressing is Daniel Snyder, man. He over there, he doing some crazy stuff over there. And look, I will say this before. In America, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But there are a lot of allegations going on right there. And look, we saw a few years back, not even that far back. We saw a couple of years ago, the former owner of the Carolina Panthers, he did a few questionable things, and he was forced to sell the team. And before that, in the NBA, we saw Donald Sterling, the former owner of the LA Clippers, who had made some very inappropriate comments. And look, the only thing that can really deal with a billionaire is a whole bunch of billionaires. Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't care how much money you got. When you're a billionaire, but there's 31 other billionaires and they don't want you in their exclusive little club anymore, you're out of there. So I'm gonna start off with you, J-Ro. What do you think? What you've heard from this in the news? What do you think about that?
I think that they should have. You're talking about the Redskins, right?
The team from the DC area. Yeah, they're not the Redskins no more, but yeah, with everything.
I get it. I understand the movement, I guess. I think they should have been more organized about it, just not announce that, hey, we're going to change the name and not even have a plan in place of what it's going to be changed to, because now everything's up in limbo and they're still trying to figure it out and decide what the names are. And you have, you can't mess with fans, NFL fans in situations like that. They take it very personal and they want answers. So I think it should have been a little bit more organized.
Well, here's the thing with that. They've been telling them to change that name for a minute, okay?
Right.
For years. And when Daniel Snyder bought the team, he told them, I will never change the name of this team. And what's happened is with all of the stuff that's been happening, with some of the social stuff that's been going on. I don't want to really get into that. The climate's kind of changing, and you see things like the Black Lives Matter movement.
Exactly.
And these sponsors are they're forcing. Basically, FedEx told him, the people that's named the field, they said, look, you need to change that ASAP. Nike said, change that. You're talking about people with $200 million interest in your team contract. Now, that's the kind of money there to make stuff happen. When you start getting major sponsors dropping you, that totally changes everything. Thoughts, Ramona?
Well, I think we kind of discussed this kind of last week.
I was really talking more of the prostitution ring that we heard. Now, these are all allegations. I don't like to sit up there and say this is definitive, but whenever the FBI gets involved, they're saying that they're having sex with the cheerleaders and pimping
them out, yeah,
like that, and all kind of stuff going on. The FBI gets involved. I wasn't really talking about the name. We kind of discussed that last week. I'm talking about this new news that's come up as far as a lot of the shady stuff that's going over there with that franchise.
Well, and I was going there.
Okay,
that's where I was headed.
I'm sorry.
The Redskins name. If you watched last week, you know what I said. Do whatever. I don't care. I think it's time, but I've got Indian, 2 parts Indian in me, so. It didn't. I'm not offended, but I don't get offended easily. So that's just me. But with the prostitution ring and supposed evidence and what have you, and the 15 cheerleaders coming forward and saying that they were sexually harassed, and you have one ex cheerleader. Right now, they're trying to get the Washington Redskins office to lift that gag order, because when you sign on and you're working for a corporation like that, you have to, sign papers that you will not discuss anything that goes on during football operations. So right now they're trying to get them to lift that up.
Yeah.
But once the FBI is involved in it, that's going to happen anyway. At some point, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's an absolute catastrophe. Is that how you put it?
A clustastrophe.
There you go.
It's a cluster, and a catastrophe. So yeah, It is.
There you go. That's what I think it is, and I think that if COVID-19 doesn't keep us from having a season, this very well could.
Okay, Tito, thoughts?
Man, they knew that's been going on for years. It had to. It ain't something that just happened yesterday, last year. And I'm pretty sure the owner had some kind of idea of what was going on. Why he didn't address it then.
They just got caught.
Exactly. Basically, exactly. Somebody got caught, now crap is hitting the fan.
And
what about the accusations that they'd been paying off the refs? I have a problem with that one, because if the Redskins were like paying off referees, why weren't they winning?
Right? There's a lot of conspiracy theories.
Like I said, we live in America where you're innocent until proven guilty. So we're just reporting it. We're not making any determination as far as that. But generally, where there's smoke, there's fire. So we'll go ahead, Tito.
And I just wanted to add, when you said that they've been asking Snyder to change that name for years, they've been asking that man to change that name for decades. And in 2003, he said, it's that simple. I would never change the name. And as you pointed out, other billionaires might have complained about it. Somebody else might have complained about it. When it was all said and done, I remember when it came across my phone, it said, FedEx told Snyder to change the name, or they pull it out. The text that came behind that, he said he changing the name. You start messing with that money.
I'm telling you,
money talks.
You look at everything
when his pockets are threatened. that's
I'm
when
telling you,
he's going to make changes. Plus the momentum of where we're at in society right now. You know what I mean? With like the Black Lives Matter movement and people videotaping everything. He knows he's going to be exposed, and so now they just got to try to make their backtracking. So
without a doubt, without a doubt. Last thing, I don't want to go too far. That's one of those things we can kind of discuss all night. I really don't want to focus on that. But one last little thing in the news, we saw Derrick Henry sign his franchise tag, running back from the. He took a hometown discount, and I think some of these players are realizing that. Look, they're talking about fans not being in the stands. The money that you would normally make, you make your money through when you have 60, 70, 80,000 people in the stadium, and they're talking about going to a quarter capacity for the stadium. You're not going to be making that much. You're not going to be making that much money. It's
right.
as you normally would. So a lot of these players are looking for the long-term security. I thought that was pretty nice of him to do that. And one last thing, my quarterback, Dak Prescott, they weren't able to get him signed to a long-term deal. So it's looking like he's going to be playing on that, on the franchise tag for $31.5 million.
He's trying to pull a Kirk Cousins.
I guess he's looking at the Patrick Mahomes.
He's trying to look at Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins.
look, it can work out. The guy who's made the most money in the league the past 4 years is Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
He took two franchise tags, then he got a long-term deal. So he's made like $125 billion in like 4 or 5 years. So if you're able to perform and you can avoid injury, it's a risk because you're signing for 1 year guaranteed. If you're to suffer any type of injury or something like that, look, you come back, you tear your ACL, your next contract is going to be a show me, because you're going to be out 4 years. So it's a risk. I wish him the best. He feels like he's worth more than what they're offering. So we'll see. So I wish him the best with that. But that covers the news there tonight. Like I said, we're going to be covering the 7th part of our 8-part series with covering each division. We've gone through all the divisions. We got 2 left this week. We'll be covering the NFC West. And next week, Ramona, she was doing backflips before we did the show. She actually was. I saw her doing backflips. We'll be talking about the AFC North next week. And so let's get this started. We're going to start with the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC West. I want to know, and I really would like to hear from from everybody in the comment section. We for many years we got used to Marshawn Lynch. He carried the load and kind of carried them. He had a very bruising style. Ever since then, it was Marshawn Lynch and the Legion of Boom. Well, Marshawn Lynch is gone. I think he came back. They were so decimated with injuries last year that they had to actually bring him back. And they have Rashard Penny and Chris Carson. And I was wondering, and I'm asking everybody in the comment section and also asking my guests and my co-hosts. And I'm gonna start with you on this, Ramona. Is Chris Carson an elite back?
Well, he missed what? The last 3 games of the season last year, including 2 playoff games, with a cracked hip. I think he was probably leading to be an elite back, but now that he's had that cracked hip, I'm not sure that he's going to ever make elite status. I don't think he's an elite back. I really don't. But that's just, that's my opinion, of course. But
okay.
No,
Tito, you see this guy twice a year, sometimes whenever he's healthy. You and Jennifer, y'all are division rivals with these guys. But what are your thoughts on Chris Carson? What do you think about him? You think he's an elite back?
He's not elite, No, he's not elite, but I will say he's a good back. And the reason I say that, you can look at his stats. You can look at his stats. 2018, he had 1,151 yards rushing on 247 carries. 2019, before he got hurt, he was at 1,230 yards.
Yeah.
The production is there. The production is there all day. It's just that he cannot stay off the injury list.
And with that cracked hip, I mean, yeah, you know what?
Yeah, now he got a cracked hip, and before that, he had an issue with carries too. And that bothers me, but right now it seems as if they have full faith in him. He's still the starting running back. They got Rashad Penny. They went and drafted, I forgot his name, but they went and drafted another running back because Rashad Penny is hurt right now. But right now, he's the man. And barring another injury, hey, I'm going to ride with him as far as fantasy goes. And in the NFL, he's going to do what he do.
Well, he needs to learn to hold on to the ball, too.
Yeah,
He's on a lot of fumbles.
Yeah, let me add.
He's either going to be good or he's going to be bad. He was doing excellent until the injury.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if he can stay healthy, I think he'll be okay. I think he can rehab. But the fact that he's depending on him highly, I think it's going to be tough. But if he can stay healthy, I think he could be an elite.
Okay.
I think he ranks around top 8. I'd go 8, 9. I think that you have a lot of backs out there that are above him. Yeah.
Look, to me, y'all know how I go with this, and Tito, you probably know this more than most. I don't like injury-prone people. I don't. You've heard me say it. Me and you, we've had discussions about this. The example I always use I know Dennis Holmes, my man Dennis Holmes, he's listening somewhere. The guy that I bring up all the time is Arian Foster. But Arian Foster in fantasy football, he nearly had me have a nervous breakdown. I wanted to punch that dude. If I ever see him, I'm punching him in the face. He was always hurt. He was always hurt. So to me, like I always say, the best ability is availability. So I don't think he's elite. I don't think he is. But the Seahawks, they've always been known as a running team. Running ball, play excellent defense. And last season, they went into the draft and they took a chance on a guy, DK Metcalf, physical specimen, absolute physical specimen. Him and A.J. Brown, I believe they were teammates at Mississippi. But this guy here, they went and got him. When I saw him play, there were a lot of question marks concerning him. In my opinion, he's a big, fast guy, and he reminds me a lot of your guy in San Francisco, Tito, Deebo Samuel. Big, fast guy, not the best route running. Look, for me, a receiver, you got to be able to run routes. And to me, he's not that guy. I think the best receiver in their team right now, and he has an opportunity to change this narrative, but the best receiver on that team to me is Tyler Lockett. What are your thoughts? And I'm going to start with you on this, J-Ro. What are your thoughts on DK Metcalf? Once again, you see this guy twice a year. From what you saw from him last year, what did you see from this guy?
Honestly, I think Metcalf is a beast, and you can't forget that he has this quarterback, a guy by the name of Russell Wilson, who is his quarterback.
I forgot about
you know what I mean? So I think he's in a good system. So I think he's just going to get better.
Okay. T. Lokester, what do you think about DK Metcalf?
I think he's a big dude. I think I'm gonna call him big fundamental because if you ever get route running down, he'll be all right. I like him, big dude, fast. I'm not for sure. Well, Tyler Lockett is not a bad receiver at all, and that's not a bad person to learn from either. And I probably see the receiver that just left and retired. What was his name?
the receiver, Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin.
I see Tyler Lockett moving in Doug Baldwin's position, and Metcalf, he could actually go in. If he get the route running down right, he could be a bigger Tyler Lockett out there.
Yeah,
I think he's in a good system within the team. I mean, there's probably several that are better than him. You know what I mean? Like Deebo Samuel for one, but I think he's in a good system, and he's got an awesome quarterback, and they'll all be able to carry each other.
Okay. Mona, from what you see from this guy, what do you see from this guy?
The talent's there. I agree. His route running, he needs to work a little on that. But the biggest problem I think he's got is dropping the ball. And he's got to quit dropping the ball. He dropped 7 passes last year in games that were significant. So that's my problem with DK.
Yeah.
Let me add on. He was a rookie. He was a rookie, and he'll grow from that. And
hopefully, we've seen some who haven't ever grown out of that.
Yeah, I'm just
the dropsies. Yeah, that the look. A lot of people don't remember, and I do. I'm a little bit older than most, but
everybody
remembers Jerry Rice when he first got to the league. He had the dropsies. T.O. had the dropsies. He had the dropsies even later on in his career. Yeah. But the thing about it is, if you get the ball in this guy's hand, and like you were saying, J-Ro, he's a beast. Once you get the ball in his hand and he starts running, he is not somebody that you want to see running down the field when you're a 5'9", 180-pound cornerback.
Exactly.
You don't want to see this guy running down the field. So,
and that's another problem I have with Chris Carson is the fumbles.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, this guy was fumbling balls like crazy. They had 12 fumbles on the season last year, and like 8 of them were his, I believe. One was it could have been Carson or Russell Wilson's fault, but when you're a running back, and supposedly he didn't hear the audible on the line, and Russell Wilson actually took the blame for that one. I remember that. Interview with Russell Wilson after that game. But like I said, that's where I have my problems with Carson Wentz, Chris Carson, and DK Metcalf. Hang on to the ball. And yeah, granted, get it, rookie.
Hey,
but you know
what? Him to hold on to the ball. Let's not forget that man had 900 yards receiving and 7 touchdowns.
Yep.
You might have been dropping. That was as a rookie.
Yeah, they did a lot of jet sweeps and stuff with him. Like, look, this is the kind of guy that you just want to get the ball in your hand, and that's where I had made the Deebo Samuel comparison. He's not a great route runner. He doesn't have great hands, but when you talk about his yak ability, you roll the ball to him, you hand the ball to him, you do whatever you got to do and get the ball in his hand and let him make something from it. But
I get what you're saying, but you know what? DK had the same problem in college as well. Let's not sugarcoat anything. He did. He had problems while he was in college.
Yeah,
talking about route running. Yeah, in college, it's like all he did was run straight down the field.
So, J. Rose, he was talking about his quarterback. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. So
I'm a huge fan.
He was talking about his quarterback, and look, I think Russell Wilson. I don't think he's Patrick Mahomes, but I think he's the second best quarterback in the league right now. I think Patrick Mahomes has kind of jumped over. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league right now. That's my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. I think the world of Patrick Mahomes, but I think when you look at Russell Wilson's leadership ability and his mobility, just look the way he carries that team now. But I want to know, do we think that can Russell Wilson get the Seahawks another ring? And I know this is hard for you, Jennifer, and I know this is hard for you, Tito, because y'all got to see this guy. And for him to get that ring, he's got to do bad things to your team. So I'm I mean, pretty much. I mean, that's really the gist of it. What, Jennifer? What do you think he can win another ring over there in Seattle?
I do. I definitely do, because I don't think anybody can underestimate Russell Wilson. He's one of my all-time favorite quarterbacks. I'm a huge fan, and I definitely think that he can win another Super Bowl. The NFC is stacked. He's definitely going to have competition. You know what I mean? So the Seahawks will need some outstanding defense, which they kind of don't have right now. And as far as them being able to pull it together, I think they can, because like I said, I think they have an amazing system behind them. And Russell, he always comes through on a clutch. I used to hate that watching them play. I'm like, damn it, when I thought we had him. He always came through on a clutch with a major play, and you just can't underestimate him. So I think that he's got a good system behind him, and he definitely has some energy for another Super Bowl.
Okay,
for sure.
Ramona, what do you think about Dangerous?
I absolutely don't think he's as dangerous as he used to be. I think that ship sailed.
Really?
I think I kind of compare him with Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
I think when he had the talent and the ability to do it, he could have done it, but he didn't. And now I'm thinking that there's too many stout teams in the NFC. Sorry, but I think he's lost his chance. And I don't think that they have the defense. Granted, I know they made some pretty decent moves, but I don't think they have the defense now to get past that crunch. I think that there's just too many strong teams in the NFC for them to get back to a Super Bowl. I don't think you'll get another one.
Okay. I think that like Coach Carroll has a way about him that the players love to ball out for him. And I think that he pulls that energy. He helps them. Like I love watching them play, even though they're not my team. I'm a fan. I think he's got it in him still. Aaron Rodgers.
Biggest thing I see the biggest problem, and I think Aaron Rodgers went through that too. The offensive line is not giving him the kind of protection he needs. He's not moving around in the pocket either. He is the oldest quarterback in the NFC in our division, isn't he?
Yes. Yes, you got Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's like 23.
He's young.
All right, Tito, you got to tell us what you think.
Go.
I'm not gonna lie to you, and I don't get many props. Well, I do get props. I have props to do, but Russell Wilson, there's a chance he could make it back. Out of the whole NFC West, that will be the team that will scare me the most. Don't get me wrong. We're gonna get on some other stuff later on that bothers me, but out of quarterbacks in the NFC West, Russell Wilson, hell, at the NFC probably. Russell Wilson is the one that I would fear the most. Just based on the fact that I was gonna say, based on his scrambling ability, able to see downfield as he's scrambling. I mean, if you look at when they play, Carroll basically puts everything in his hands, and has it call it, and he has him call it at the line. Read the defense, see it, go from there. And the boy, he scares me when he plays. I'm sorry.
Except in that Super Bowl against the Patriots. So anyway, I'm going to jump over to the defensive side. And look, we remember those scary Seattle teams. Man, that Legion of Boom, when you look at Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor and who was Earl Thomas, you look at that back end of that defense. I thought that was one of the greatest secondaries of all time. When you look at that secondary, that Legion of Boom defense, but a lot of the front seven, I never really thought that they got the respect that they deserved. And I just want to know, what is our opinion of Bobby Wagner? Now, look, when I'm talking about linebacker, I'm talking about inside linebacker. Let's not get that confused with a 3-4 outside linebacker like your guy from Pittsburgh, T.J. Watt, Ramona. I'm talking about middle linebackers, sideline to sideline type guys. What is our opinion? And Tito, I'm going to start with you on this. What is your opinion of Bobby Wagner? Do you think he's the best inside linebacker in the league?
No, not at all. Not at all, Marcus. I don't think he's the best inside linebacker in the NFL. He might be top 20. Seattle sucks.
He can't get no props?
Nah, he can get props, man. He's good. I said he was top, 10, 5?
Okay.
Now he might be the best in the NFL, man. I'm not gonna hate on him. He might be the best in the NFL. But of course, I can't go and say Patrick Willis or nothing like that because he's not in there no more.
You got spoiled. You got spoiled with Navarro Bowman and your boy Patrick Willis. I thought back in the day when y'all winning that Super Bowl run back then, I thought that at you. You gotta show it off, don't you?
No, it's Patrick, man. I'm still mad he retired.
Yeah, look. Some people, they look at it as like, I want to come in here, I want to make this money, I want to leave out of here with all my marbles intact. I mean, you look at a guy. There's been guys. You look at a guy like Barry Sanders. You look at a guy like, you look at guys like that. Hell, even more recently, a guy like Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was 30 years old. People, he was 30 years old. You start getting those injuries, and guys just, they get out of there. Ramona, what do you think about? You're a defensive gal. I know that about you.
I really like Wagner. I think he is definitely at the top. But I think that he was number 2 until Luke Kuechly retired. Then he became number 1. I think Kuechly retiring.
Yeah, Luke.
Because I think Luke was better.
Yeah.
So I'll give you number 1 in the NFL right now.
Number 1 now? Okay.
But I'm going to tell you right now, there's a Devin Bush coming up. We're going to see what's going to happen.
You definitely got some young. You definitely got some young gunners coming up. Some young cats coming up that are that can lay that wood. What do you think, J. Rose?
Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah, we do. We have younger players coming up that are going to definitely give them some competition. But we can't negate the fact that he was named first all-team, all-pro for 4 seasons straight. You know what I mean? I mean, the guy is an all-around player. He creates turnovers, and in my opinion, he's a great leader as well. So, I think anybody coming in above him right now, I mean, he definitely there's a lot of greats out there. You know what I mean? But I think anybody coming in behind him right now is yet to be seen, especially because those guys are young.
I don't wait. Even above, are you going to go even above like Kendrick with the Vikings, and you got Leonard with the Colts, and
Darius Leonard?
Those guys are right up there with him. I mean, I think he's just a little bit more developed. I think age kind of plays a part of it too.
And to me, that's what makes him better, is because he is more developed. He's smarter in the game. He's more experienced. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. I don't think we can take away the fact that he was named the first team All-Pro for 4 seasons for 4 straight seasons.
You definitely can't. I think you got to look at guys like you said, Ramon. You look Devin Bush, Devin White, Tre'Davious White from Buffalo, Darius Leonard. There are definitely some young guys coming up, and I think they're going to give him a run for the money. But he is the seasoned vet. Before we move on to
Jalen Smith.
Before we move on to the next topic, I want to read some of the comments. We kind of got away from that. Welcome to the show, Dwayne Woodley. But Dak ain't Mahomes. Go Lions. Okay. Show me the money, Jerry. Dwayne Woodley. Dak is tied with defense. Aaron Pop. I don't think so. He can't stay healthy. I think we're talking about Carson here. I'm going all the way back. Robert Leader. Welcome to the show. He will play in a walker this year. He can't stay healthy.
About
Iron Mike Smith
Carson.
is very serviceable. Y'all, we got a tough crowd tonight, man. Real
Y'all
tough.
was bad on the man. Was bad
Right.
on the man like
Uh,
that.
Iron Mike Smith, DK and AJ out of Ole Miss they've taken off. I agree. Kellen for the culture, he's in the house. Running backs are a dime a dozen. He's talking about Chris Carson. I know he had to add that. Let's see here. So yeah, let's see. Jared Muller, Baldwin's definitely better than Lockett and DK, no doubt. Another guy who had to retire from injuries and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Please like and share the show. Whoa, man, y'all, we're going all the way back. What about Deion Jones from Atlanta? Ron Thomas, welcome to the show. And then, of course, Kelvin Lane, I'm giving you your props, man. Trayvon Evans is definitely up and coming. He's a young guy. I think he got drafted at 19 or 20 years old, so definitely. So thanks, guys, for the comment. We'll keep trying to read those comments. So we're going to move on to the next topic there.
Oh.
Once again, you all are watching the Alphabets Football Talk Show with the OnPoint Network, the OnPoint Network and Rise Up family. We're going to move on to our next team. We're going to be covering those Rams, the LA Rams, the lamb chops.
Laptops.
Shout out to Eric Manzuk. I know that's your team over there. So we'll be talking about them right now. And the first topic with the Rams is, look, this guy, he came into the league. He was so impressive. Every few seasons there's that young coach that comes out and kind of sets the league on fire, and everybody's looking for that next guy. The Kyle Shanahans, you guys got them, the Cliff Kingsburys and the, young guys. This guy here, he was that guy. And when he came out, he took over for Jeff Fisher, who was garbage dumpster juice. He took over for him, got them to the Super Bowl. You guys, once again, y'all have seen this guy. Do you think that the league has finally figured out Sean McVay? And I'm going to start with you, J-Ro.
No. I don't think they figured him out. He's a good coach. He's smart. But being the youngest coach in the league, I don't think they know him. They can't read him yet. I don't know. I didn't keep up a whole lot with him, but I think he's a smart coach. But I think just being the youngest coach in the league, I don't think they've figured him out yet. He doesn't have enough of a record behind him yet.
Really?
I don't think. He's
Look, under McVay, the Rams rely heavily on play action, right or wrong.
They do.
Yeah.
Rely heavily on play action. If your running game is garbage, then that puts big pressure on the quarterback to perform, and he ain't doing it. So if they can be whether they figured out McVay or not. I mean, if he's gonna run left, run right, then try play action, he might want to switch it up. He ain't got Gurley anymore, so he got Cam Akers coming in. Mm-hmm. He got 2 other rookie running backs. What else do you want? He gonna try to run left, run right, play action. They got to get that running game going. That's his bread and butter right there. Without that, he ain't gonna get it.
No doubt.
He's gonna figure out that he's got to change it up, though. I don't think as far as them having him figured out, I think he's too smart to let them figure him out yet.
My thing is, I don't know if the league has necessarily figured him out. I just think that they pushed all of their chips into to the center of the table a couple of years ago, and they went out and they spent all this money on free agents. They went and got Marcus Peters, and they went and got Aqib Talib, and they went and got Ndamukong Suh, and they went and got Clay Matthews Jr., and they were like, we're going to go all in, and then they went and signed Goff to a long-term deal, and then they gave Gurley a big contract, and his knees just went out, and they missed. And then what happened is you paid all these guys. They got guys coming up that are going to need to be paid. We're going to talk about him in a little bit. A guy like Jalen Ramsey, we're going to talk about him in a minute. But I don't think they've necessarily figured him out. I just think that some of the players that they thought were going to be on that team for a long time, and they just kind of burned out, in my opinion. And Jared Goff, in my opinion, he's the reason why Dak Prescott didn't get his money since we started the show like that. They looked at, and I say this all the time, when you dedicate a lot of your salary cap to your quarterback, and he's taking up 10 to 15% of your salary cap, and he doesn't perform and get you to the conference championship game or the Super Bowl, that hurts your team because now you can't surround that guy with the players. Go ahead, Ramona. You had disappeared for a minute. What do you think of? Has the league figured out Sean McVay?
I don't know if it's just that as much as he just going to have the same offense. I think he's, with loss of players and things like that. He's trying to replace Gurley. I just don't see the same athletic group of guys on that team right now. I think that, what the man did his first 2 seasons, he was 24-8. You can't take anything away from what he actually did coming in, but offensive guru, they haven't done well since their 13-3 loss against the Patriots.
They weren't good last year.
They weren't.
No,
I think
the last year they was good is when Todd Gurley, he was touchdown dependent last year.
Right.
But before that, he had an outstanding season. And where were they? Where were they? Super Bowl playoffs.
Well, I think
on the run game.
They had a Super Bowl. Hey, look, when you go to the Super Bowl, and this goes for you, buddy. When a lot of teams that have that go to the Super Bowl, it's just it. Look, knock on wood. I'm not wishing any bad on your team. I'm really not. I know you think I'm being sarcastic, but I'm really not. But when you get to that high and you make it to the Super Bowl and you lose, it's really hard. I don't know what the records are, but it's not very good. The team that's the loser of the Super Bowl, it's hard to come back, and a lot of times they have a down year the next year. So I think that's what happened. And then, like I said, they lost a lot of. Look, you paid. Let's not forget Brandon Cooks. They gave him a lot of money. He's not on the team anymore. He's with the Texans now. You lost Gurley. You lost Cooks. Cup was hurt. And Goff kind of regressed last year. So when you give him that money like that, it's kind of hard. So moving on, definitely we'll see. We'll see. I think they do better this year. I think last year was kind of tough, and we talked about Todd Gurley, and they hit at the time when they signed him, he was the highest paid running back in the league. Since then, a couple of running backs have kind of surpassed him. Christian McCaffrey right now, actually Zeke passed him last season. And then this offseason, Christian McCaffrey from the Panthers took that the highest paid running back. And Gurley had a lot of injuries, and finally they decided to ship him off, sent him over to Atlanta, and they went and drafted a guy out of Florida State. And I'm wondering, and I'm going to start with you on this, Ramona. Do you think Cam Akers can replace Gurley? And I'd like to know from everybody in the comments, what do you guys think about Cam Akers from Florida State? What are your thoughts on him?
Well, he already has. They got rid of Gurley, and they drafted him. So he's replaced him.
Well,
because he had the talent. I'm not saying he has the talent. I'm just saying, they already have replaced him with Cam Akers.
I agree.
That's all I got.
Okay, go ahead. J-Ro, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he can replace Gurley if he stays healthy.
Okay. Tito?
Can the Cam Akers replace Gurley? Only time will tell. I don't know if he will get the same production that you got from Gurley in his prime, especially when there's a question mark around training this year, the off season, the season itself. And remember, 2017 until last year, Gurley had 758 carries for 3,413 yards, 42 touchdowns.
Wow.
You got to replace that.
That's impressive.
You got to replace that. That's going to be
Well,
hard.
Yeah, you know, you kind of laughed at me when I said, well, they already have. They've replaced him with Cam Akers. But the Rams think they've replaced Gurley. But they also thought they were going to score more than 3 points against the Patriots defense, too, didn't they? I'm sorry.
Another guy I want y'all to remember, another name we might want to remember is Henderson. They drafted him last year. They thought very highly of him last year. And I think when there is a season, I think those two guys will be battling to see who takes over that spot. But they definitely have big shoes to fill. So now I want to jump over to the defensive side of the ball. And Ramona, I know you love defense. And I want to know from everybody in the comment section as well, do we think that Aaron Donald, for many years, for a few years, he was thought of as being the best defensive tackle in the game, inside pass rush in the league. And I'm trying to think off of the top of my head. I mean, this guy was dominant. I mean, you're talking about a guy, an interior defensive lineman. Look, most of the time your big sack guys, your 3-4 outside linebacker. You look at a guy like Von Miller, or you look at a guy like T.J. Watt from the Steelers. You don't generally, or from a 4-3 defensive end, a guy like Michael Strahan or Bruce Smith back in the day, or Reggie White. You don't see a lot of guys from the defensive tackle spot, maybe with the exception of Warren Sapp back in the day. And I'm wondering if we still believe, is Aaron Donald still the best interior defensive lineman? And Ramona, I'm going to start with you.
I wish you would start with me. I'm sitting there trying to do slides going, and then I forget where I'm at.
Go ahead, J-Ro. What do you think?
Well, no, I got it. I got it. I'm good. 12.5 sacks despite being double teamed most of the time last season. Simple facts. I mean, come on. The man is a beast. Double teamed, and he still has 12 sacks. The only thing you can do with Aaron Donald is try and minimize what damage he's going to do. You know, that's pretty. You can't, because there's no stopping him. Obviously, he was double teamed pretty much the whole season last year, and he still got 12 sacks in. So you minimize his damage. There's no way to take him out of a game. He's not the best gap defender. Absolutely not. That's one of the issues they do have with him, is he's not the best gap defender. Mark Barron played behind him, what was it, like 5 seasons? And Mark Barron said there is nobody as big and strong as what Cameron Hayward is. He said, I was behind Aaron Donald for 5 years. He said, I've never seen anybody manhandle other players and 2 players at a time like Cameron Hayward. That's one of the problems I think that Aaron Donald has. He doesn't have that backup linebacker behind him to catch some of the escapees that get through that line. That's where I think that's the only thing, the only downfall I see with Aaron Donald. And that's not a downfall. You know what? The Rams don't care. They're going to play this guy, and they're going to play this guy, and he's going to get his sacks every year, and he's going to make some quarterbacks suffer. Just that simple. Okay. He's a beast.
Yeah.
J-Ro, what do you think?
I agree. I agree with you. I'm trying to figure out why he hasn't won an MVP yet. You know what I mean? But I think it's because who he's got backing him is not pushing him to it. But no question, he's top notch. I wish he played for the Cardinals.
Really?
What do you think? What do you think, Tito? What do you think of Aaron Donald?
It don't matter what I think. It really don't. They paying that man $22.5 million a year. He's the highest paid interior lineman in the NFL. And that's with new contracts being handed out to DeForest Buckner at $21 million.
No doubt. I mean, he's making. Yeah, you don't generally see interior defensive linemen making that type of money. That money like that, $22-23 million. That's generally defensive end money. That's like what Myles Garrett just got from the Browns. You know, they look at edge rushers. You look at the Khalil Mack and the DeMarcus Lawrences and I think TJ Watt, he's about to get paid. You know, these guys. So moving on to one of his teammates.
Yuri just said that Aaron Donald is the man, probably the best defensive tackle he's ever seen. But you got to remember, Yuri's only been watching football for about 2 years. So he's definitely not the best defensive tackle.
But before we move on, go ahead, J-Ro.
I'm just wondering if you guys think that this the salary cap changes is gonna hurt the Rams. I don't know if the Rams could really achieve the I don't know how it's gonna work, but with the salary caps, I mean the NFL is putting a $40 million cut to the salary cap.
Yeah.
So how is that gonna affect the Rams?
Well, and I think that leads right up here to our next topic. And before we get to the next topic, I do want to read some of the comments. I don't want to ever get too far behind. Detroit Lion Jackson, Jared Goff is trash.
That's Yule. Don't read his. Don't read his comments, please.
Okay.
Moved him out of the group. So.
Tom, TC, Cups, Woods, Reynolds, two good running backs. Ricky Williams, talking about a trash quarterback, look no further than Matthew Stafford. Let's see here. Dalton Smith, Rams' new uniforms look like Best Buy. Yuri Barrows, Cam Akers might be the best running back. He might be a great running back, but I'm taking a veteran running back, so the load doesn't have to be all on him. Well, when you draft a guy that high, you're pretty much taking him to be your guy. TC says Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson. That was the name. Ricky Williams, let me see here.
Ricky Williams.
Well, Cam doesn't have knee problems. That's what Ricky Williams said.
Oh.
Once again, Calvin, running backs are a dime a dozen. All right, so here we're going to move on to defense. We stay here on the defensive side of the ball. Look, we had a big argument last week, and we actually did it on our segment. There's levels to this, and I know I got a bunch of Bills fans in here, and I got a couple of Patriots fans in here, and they go back and forth all the time about who the best cornerback is in the league between Tre'Davious White and
Buffalo
and Stephon Gilmore. But I think we're forgetting about a guy. You know, this guy here.
Don't say it.
The Rams gave up 2 first-round picks for this guy. 2 first-round picks to get him to snag him from Jacksonville. Look, you gave up 2 first-round picks for him. Generally, when you give up picks like that, this is a guy who you want to keep on your team long-term. And just like J-Ro was saying, you know, with the attendance, people not being able to go to the games and things of that nature, you're really kind of and they're talking about reducing the salary cap. Will Jalen Ramsey be the highest paid corner? And J-Ro, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Nope, I don't think he'll even be top 3. I think Tre'Davious White from Buffalo. I think Byron Jones and that dude from the Dolphins. I can't remember his name.
That's where Byron Jones is at now, is with the Dolphins.
Yeah, but Byron Jones. Yeah, he moved from the Cowboys to the.
I don't think he'll be the top paid.
Well, generally, the guy who's the next guy up, they usually. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Generally, the guy who's the next guy up, who's due for the contract, he's generally the guy who's the next guy. So you got Stephon Gilmore. I think he's already got his money. But you have Tre'Davious White and you have Jalen Ramsey about to get paid. They're about to get paid. So
Ramsey's gonna get paid.
yeah.
I honestly think that somebody's getting what, $19.5 million right now.
That would be Darius Slay.
That's Byron Jones. I think that's what Byron Jones.
Slay. I think it's Darius Slay is getting that. I think
there's Joe Hayden.
I think Byron. Joe Hayden is not up there. Trust me.
No.
The highest paid corner right now is Darius Slay.
He's not there. He's not gonna, and he knows he ain't gonna get that kind of money in Pittsburgh. Period.
Do you have the list? Tito, do you have the highest the list of the highest paid cornerbacks right now? Do you have
I don't have the list of the highest, but I can see right here where it said Darius Slay was the highest paid quarterback, nearly
at $19.5 million.
For a couple of months, a month or two, it was Byron Jones when he left the Cowboys and went to the Dolphins, and then whenever Darius Slay left Detroit and went to Philly, and my boy Dennis Holmes was doing backflips. That's a sight to imagine there. Dennis Holmes, he was going crazy over there when Darius.
I think he'll be the first one to hit 20 million.
Yeah,
I think no doubt Jalen Ramsey, and if they can't find the money, like they're gonna have to. Look. Let's not forget the Rams. They don't have any draft picks. I don't think
and that's why I think it's gonna hurt them.
They didn't have any first round draft picks this season, and I don't think they have any next season either.
They gave up 2 first round draft picks to acquire Jalen Ramsey, and you telling me that they not gonna pay a 25-year-old shutdown corner? That man.
It's gonna hurt them because what if they do the salary cap cut? I think it'll hurt them.
They got rid of Gurley.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're still paying a lot of players. I mean, they're still playing. They just paid Goff. They're still paying Gurley. They got a big salary cap hit for Gurley.
I don't think they're gonna have money.
They have one of the lowest.
Gave 2 first round draft picks.
Yeah, that's what hurts. Yeah, that's what hurts there is losing the draft pick. So we're going to move on now. We're going to move on now to the Arizona Cardinals. That's going to be our next team here. Yuri Barrow says, let me see here. Why is Okuda being compared? Hasn't played yet. Ricky Wilson, I give up trying. Let's see. Okay. So moving on to the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to talk about your team a little bit here. So we're moving on to the Cardinals. Once again, please, everybody out there, you're watching the Alphabets Football Talk Show on the OnPoint Network with the Rise Up family. Please like and share the show. Give a little love out there. Give some hearts and likes and all that good stuff, and share it out there. So we're going to start. We're going to start talking about the Arizona Cardinals, and we're just talking about young hotshot coaches coming up. We just got done talking about Sean McVay. And last year, I think it kind of went as a surprise, when the Cardinals went and signed Kingsbury. Kingsbury. That's a tongue twister. And he had an okay season. And he went out, and when they signed him, the Cardinals had just drafted Josh Rosen. And when they brought him in, look, I don't want him. We got the number 1 pick. I want my guy. I coached this guy in college. We brought him in, and the rest is history. He went and had the offensive rookie of the season. Kyler Murray was the offensive rookie of the year. And I just want to know, they run a lot of college concepts, spread offense, and I want to know. And I'm going to start with you, J-Ro, because this is your team. Can Kingsbury, that offense, can it succeed in the NFL long term? And I'm not talking about this 1 year wonder type stuff. I'm talking about, can you see this type of offense succeeding long term in the NFL?
I can. I think Cliff is a great coach, and I think he's the person that the offense needs to lead them that. But you have to. When I think of the Cardinals, they have a lot of work to do. They're weak in a lot of places, and I think that they're making big moves and we're getting better. And I think Cliff, if he, a few adjustments every so often, and yeah, I think so. I think they're making good moves, and now they have to start focusing on the offense so that it gets better. But I think he can sustain long term for sure, because they'll come up as a team as a whole, and I just see the Cardinals just growing and getting better. They're making major moves, and I like the players they've picked up. I love what they're doing so far, and they're looking better.
Okay, Ramona, what do you think? What do you think about this guy?
That air raid offense that he uses. I don't think it'll last long. I think if he doesn't mix it up a little more, and they should be able to do that. I mean, they've made some pretty significant moves in the offense.
They have to.
But yeah, the air raid offense is not going to last long in the NFL. Not when you got teams who run that like the type of defenses like the Steelers run, the 3-4 defense. I think that's where.
True.
To me, that's where you're going to start seeing problems, because you got the 3 linemen, you got your four linebackers, then you had your strong safety, your free safety, your corners. Is he going to be able to continue throwing the ball against defenses like that? And I don't see how he can.
I see them doing it by making moves of picking up great picks and building their offense they're going to grow. I don't think they're going to get worse. I think they're going to get better.
Oh, I think so. I think Kyler Murray's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I just do.
Love him.
We're going to talk. We're going to definitely talk about him. Tito, what are your thoughts? Do you think that type of offense can work?
I think, and I hope that Arizona play Pittsburgh, and Arizona light Pittsburgh ass up. That's what I pray for. That's what I'm hoping.
Because of my 3-4 defense comment?
The pressure's on.
You don't.
Hey, I went
a lot of passing.
Hey, I was at that game when Pittsburgh came to play Arizona, and I thought we were in Pittsburgh playing. It was embarrassing. You know what I mean? It was awful. But
Steelers
killed us.
Travel well.
But we got to get on to Murray's because I think we're just gonna get better.
Well, I will say
I like Kyler Murray.
I will say this before we move on to the next slide. Look, you see the way that the game is moving now, and I'm going to segue into the next topic here. Nowadays, you have to have a mobile quarterback. I do believe that. I believe that the way that the game is going now with the athleticism, we just talked about the Aaron Donalds and the Myles Garretts and the TJ Wattses and the JJ Wattses and the Bosa boys. When you're dealing with players like that, defensive players like that, you better have a quarterback that can move. You better have a quarterback. You look at a lot of the top rated quarterbacks. The one ability that they have is to move. You look at he's the only one. Like, you see all of the top rated quarterbacks that are coming up now, they're all mobile. And even the quarterback that was drafted this year, Joe Burrow, who we'll talk about next week. You look at a guy like Joe Burrow, mobile with a good arm. Patrick Mahomes, we just talked about Russell Wilson. And now looking at a guy, Cam Newton in his heyday, in his MVP season. When you have a quarterback who can move, it creates problems. It's a problem. And so going on to the next thing, talking about quarterbacks, can Kyler Murray have a long career with his size? Now, he's not the biggest guy. He's definitely not the biggest guy. But I'm wondering, what do we think? Can this guy, we've seen the success that Russell Wilson has had. being a smaller guy, and he's had a lot of success. And I'm wondering, and I'm going to start with you on this one here, Tito. Do you think Kyler Murray can have a long career with his size?
I think he can have a long career with his size as long as he don't take no hits, and not take no hits. As long as he keep playing and doing some of the things he was doing during his rookie season. And what I saw what he was doing was he wasn't taking unnecessary hits. He wasn't sitting up there trying to struggle for that extra yard or something like that. He wasn't putting his body out there like that. And I think that was something that they taught him young. Well, not young, but that's one of the things that they mainly focused on. Hey, don't get your little self out here hit because these linemen ain't playing with you. I remember when I was little and I was playing football, I think I was about 5'4", 130 pounds. We had this one guy, he was 6'6", 300. He hit me in the middle of the field. I swear to God, I slid out of bounds and into the wood line somewhere. I ain't feel nothing. It was just like I just got thrown over there, So, yeah.
The life knocked out of you.
Yeah, you can't be taking too many hits like that, especially when you a $150 and that outran you by damn near 200 pounds. Let's look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton, 6'6", yada yada yada, and he ran with Carolina. That was part of the plays they had in there, and he got beat up.
Yeah,
and he was a young 30-some years old, and he couldn't even fire the team. Granted, everything going around had a lot to do with that, but yet still they were scared to take a chance on him because they don't know if he healed from his MVP year.
Well, we'll see. We'll see from him definitely. J-Ro, your quarterback. What do you think?
I do, of course, because first of all, if you watched him through the season, his rookie year, he did nothing but get better. Every game I saw an improvement. Every day, every game I was improved. I was impressed. But he's young, but he's very smart, and like Tito said, he doesn't take unnecessary hits. He's smart. He's green, so he's only going to grow in his career. And yes, he's smaller, but I think if the Cards build a strong defense around him, like they already are with D-Hop and we have Fitzgerald, then I think he'll be fine. I definitely see him taking the Cards to a Super Bowl, and I think he was a much-needed change for Arizona to bring the momentum back to the game and the excitement to our team. And I'm definitely a fan of him. I think he's only going to get better. I see them as the Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin of the NFL that's coming up here.
Okay, you got some new triplets. Go ahead, Mona.
Oh, I think
Tito.
I think his arm strength is absolutely amazing.
And he's fast.
The guy throws a 57 mile per hour ball down the field. 57. They clocked it at 57 miles per hour.
Yeah, definitely his baseball background. Look, I'm with you, T.
He's fast. He runs a 4.38 40. Only one faster that I can remember, and that was Michael Vick.
Yeah.
He reminds me a little of Michael Vick. Michael Vick had that hard, fast throw. That was one of his problems. He didn't know how to let off when his receivers were close. He had problems with his receivers holding on to the ball. I think his lack of height can hurt him. Seeing over the offensive line, we know those offensive linemen are huge. They are tall. And can you imagine these tall linebackers getting into him? These edge rushers coming in at him. Then trying to escape that. And I don't know. I worry about his size. I think he's an amazing quarterback, but I think he's going to run into some problems because of his size. I think that Doug, he brings in mind. I think of Doug Flutie when I see him on the field.
That's a good. Yeah, that's that.
Although he's much better quarterback, I think, than what Flutie was. So.
I think our defense definitely has to protect him.
Or that offensive line,
offensive line, and I think picking up King and Drake and the next guy we're going to talk about.
Our offense.
Look, last season, this past offseason, the Cardinals, they go out and Bill O'Brien, the worst coach, general manager in the history of the NFL, goes out. Look, J-Ro, y'all got a Christmas present. Y'all need to. Somebody needs to write Bill O'Brien and say thank you for the early Christmas present. We appreciate you. For you all to get this guy, a guy who a lot of people, including myself, think is one of the top 2 or 3 best wide receivers, and not have to give up a first-round pick for him. And I just want to know, do we think that picking up DeAndre Hopkins was the best move of the offseason?
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm going to start with you. I'm going to start with you on this one, Ramona. Ramona, you there? Okay, J-Ro, go ahead.
I definitely think it was one of the best moves of the off season. Him along with I think the Cam Newton trade to New England, but he's definitely up there with one of the best trades. But Hopkins is a beast, no doubt. I think letting him go, the Texans letting him go was the dumbest move by the Texans. But boy, great move for Arizona because, like I said, between D-Hop and Fitzgerald and Murray, they're gonna be sweet for Murray. Like I think he's just gonna be the icing on the cake for us.
No doubt. I was just very impressed with that. T. Lokester, what do you think?
They gave him away for what? Like I just couldn't understand that trade, but it was a bonus for us, so we'll take it.
What do you say? What did they get? What did they give for him, Tito?
Hold on, I got you right here. See what had happened, right? Is the owner of Houston sent Bill O'Brien to the store. And as he was on his way to the store, he ran past a farmer's market and a guy that was selling magic beans.
What had happened was...
Yeah, so he traded DeAndre Hopkins for a handful of magic beans. Oh, it came in the name of, what's his name? What's the running back they got?
David Johnson.
David Johnson. Oh, my God. They went and they got their magic beans and it grew David Johnson in his contract. They got to deal with that. I'm not for sure what they was thinking when they did that. But then to add, I'm going to say insult to injury. They go out there and sign Brandon Cooks to a mega deal.
Yeah, I just don't.
I was like, what?
I'm telling you, like, have you ever, like, I saw that and I was like, what are you doing? Like, what, like, look, at least, like, with Buffalo, they went and got Stephon Diggs. They were like, you know, and Minnesota said, give us a first-round pick. Like, you couldn't get a first-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins? For DeAndre Hopkins? I mean, and Stephon Diggs is a great wide receiver, no doubt. But he's not DeAndre Hopkins. So they got Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs holds on to the ball better.
Here, just
go ahead, Ramona. Go ahead, Ramona. What best move of the season?
I think it's close. Honestly, I think what the Bills did getting Diggs with that young quarterback that they have was amazing as well.
Yeah.
So I think there's a close tie on the Bills getting Diggs and Kyler Murray getting D-Hop. I think the Texans, either the Texans general manager has absolutely went insane.
Clowny too.
Or he's a genius. Or he's a genius. If he comes back and he takes that team to the playoffs this year.
Hey, I don't care what.
Even the Super Bowl. Could you imagine if that happened? Then we have to say the man was a genius getting rid of the trouble.
If that happens, every GM in the NFL needs to go to the top of the World Trade, the top of the Empire State Building and jump off. That's what they need they need to go up there and
I don't see it happening. I mean, I'm just saying. You know, something happened to this man's mind.
No doubt. So, Magic Bean, no doubt. So moving on to the defense. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball. There's a couple of players I like over there. I definitely I've always liked Patrick Peterson. J-Ro, if y'all want to trade him over to the Cowboys, we can talk about that.
We need all the help we can get.
But y'all do have who I think is a pretty damn good pass rusher in Chandler Jones. And you hear a lot of the pass rushers in the league. You hear the Khalil Macks and the Von Millers. That this guy's name never comes up. Is Chandler Jones underrated? J-Ro, I'm going to start with you on this. You think he's underrated?
I do. Like you said, he is a sack monster, and he doesn't get credit that he deserves because of the market that he's in. I think. I mean, he's up against linebackers like Bobby Wagner and Eric Kendricks and Darius Leonard, but he's just as good as them, in my opinion. So I definitely think he's underrated. He's just got a lot of competition.
No doubt. Mona, what do you think? You see good edge rushers. You got a couple of good edge rushers over there in Pittsburgh. You think Chandler Jones is underrated?
I'm going to say what Chandler Jones says about, because they ask him, what do you think of? He says, I just want people to quit saying I'm underrated. I'm just doing my job. I'm going to tell you something. I think he's one of the best edge rushers in the game right now. I think the man, hands down, is just that good. I think the biggest problem is he doesn't have the rest of the defensive core that he needs behind him.
Yeah, definitely.
I think their offense pretty much is set right now. They could probably use another running back in there. But defensively, I think that's where the Cardinals have to improve. They have to keep other teams from being able to score those high points against them. I watched some games last year that the Cardinals lost, and they only lost by like 1 or 2 points. And it was sickening because I was cheering for them, So, and I'm don't get me wrong, I'm not a Cardinals fan, but I really appreciate seeing the talent that Kyler Murray brings to the game. Yes. I really do. And I think Kingsbury is doing a good job. I just think on the defensive side of the ball, me, I'm a defensive mindset gal. Defensively, me, I'm a Steeler fan. I'm a defensive girl. So defense to me is key. And, used to defenses won championships. Now I think it's got to be more, you got to have a balance. And yes, right. you can have a little better offense than a defense, or a little better defense than your offense, but it's got to be closely balanced. And if you have a defense that can actually create turnovers and help your offense to be able to score more points, well, that's just like the golden egg. So yeah, that's my opinion on him. I think he's a beast. I think he's awesome.
And I think we'll get there. I think the Cardinals, they're building, they focused on our offense. We got D-Hop, we've got Fitzgerald, we got Murray taken care of, and now they'll start focusing on our defense and start making some big moves for that. So I think Chandler Jones is definitely going to lead that pack in our defense, but we'll build on it. We're getting better, guys.
No doubt. Tito, you think he's underrated?
I think he might be rated. Where yet? I mean, whenever I see him play, his name is out there. I never looked at him as underrated. I always thought he was one of the best ones out there. Last year, he had 19 sacks. The year that he left the Patriots, he only had 6, but he had 12.5. In his first year with Arizona, he had 11. The man gonna do work wherever he go.
He can always come to Pittsburgh. I'll take him. I'll
tell you what's going to make his life a whole lot easier. Getting Isaiah Simmons. That definitely.
He is averaging 14.5 sacks a season. That's what he's averaging. He's got 96 sacks since he's been in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think that he gets the credit he deserves. I think maybe part of it's just the market that he plays in. I think people respected him a lot. And speaking of people giving up players for magic beans, Bill Belichick, this one here, you kind of dropped the ball on this one here, because you gave Chandler Jones away for magic beans too. So your boy Bill O'Brien up in over with Houston, he kind of, I don't know, you maybe have got some of that from him. So moving on to the last team in the division, the defending NFC champions from last year, Super Bowl participants. Had a great season last year, did their thing, fell a little short, ran into who I think was an all-time great team in the Chiefs last year, Patrick Mahomes.
We had that.
You did have that. But we're going to start off with one of my favorite players from the 49ers. And, we've seen a lot of good tight ends over the years. We've seen guys like Shannon Sharp and Rob Gronkowski and guys like that. We've seen a lot of good tight ends, Tony Gonzalez. Jason Witten. I'm wondering if George Kittle can be an all-time great. From what we've seen from him, how does he stack up against these guys? And by the way, Tito, this you'll really like this. George Kittle's the highest-rated tight end on Madden 21. Ladies, I know y'all probably don't care about stuff like that, but me and Tito, we have a long history with Madden. But George Kittle's the highest-rated tight end on Madden this year. Just put that out there. Can this guy be an all-time great, Tito? This is your team. I'm going to start with you. What do you think?
Yes, he can be an all-time great as long as Jimmy Garoppolo get his crap straight. It does no good. What I would hate to see, and what we're not seeing, but what I would hate to see is talent get wasted like Vernon Davis. And I love me some Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis was one of the best tight ends, in my opinion, that played during that time, or versatile hybrid, as Marcus would call him. But he just had sorry QB play. And we seen Garoppolo in the Super Bowl. We saw what he did in the playoffs. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a 49er fan to my heart, but I do not have full faith in him. And for him to be the center of the focus of the offense, and he has to get the ball to Kittle, he has to get the ball to him. He has to get the ball to the wide receiver. He didn't do a good job of that last year, but he still kept Kittle as a top tight end in the NFL. And I think that mainly came because of the way Shanahan designed and called his plays. He's going to have him out there for him. He's going to have him out there for Debo. He's going to have him out there for the rookie we got. It's upon Garoppolo, when he hiked that ball, decision-making time. You got to do that. You got to pull the trigger. You got to make that man good. He can't do it if Garoppolo sucks.
No doubt. Mona, I see you over there. You're sweating a little bit. I see you getting a little bit hot over there. I see you got the tank.
Hold on, what?
He knows I love George Kittle.
We've seen a lot. What do you think about George Kittle? What do you think?
1,377 yards last year. He's ranked second in the NFL, just behind Travis Kelce. Mm-hmm. I think that Kittle is going to end up being the highest paid tight end in the NFL. I think the 49ers will pay him to keep him.
Garoppolo's going to take a pay cut.
Garoppolo better, or he's going to be cut himself. Right now, can you imagine George Kittle with an accurate quarterback?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean,
pocket passer, common sense, however you want to do it. Somebody like they actually studied the playbook last night, know where everybody's going to be at on the field, and ain't scared to throw the dang ball.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I put him at number one. To me, he is the number one tight end to me in the league. Mm. I think Kelsey's behind him. Then I think it's like Ertz and Andrews, Waller. And then I might slide Gronk in, but I had to see what Gronk's going to bring just back after missing a whole season and dropping all that weight that he lost, that muscle tone that he lost. I'm not sold on Gronk. I'm sorry, I'm just not. But we're going to have to see what happens with him. But I think he's definitely easily a number one. I think he's going to end up being the highest paid tight end in the game.
Okay, sounds good. J-Ro.
Kittle is nightmare fuel for some people. I like him. I think he's awesome. He's the complete tight end. I think he can block. He'll get dirty, and he will also shred your defense.
No doubt. Look.
He will shred a defense.
The top two tight ends out there, you got to look at him and Kelsey.
Yeah.
Kelsey, the way he plays the game, I love Kittle. The way he plays the game, he's when he gets the ball in his hands, he turns into a fullback. He runs very violently. He plays with a very aggressively, and I just think that he definitely can be. You look at, to me right now, the top two tight ends are him and Kelsey. So yes, I definitely, if he can keep it up and do that, I think he can definitely do that. But moving on to some of his teammates, I'm wondering. I thought last year one of the weaknesses of the 49ers was their wide receiver core. They didn't really have that true number one guy. I mean, they drafted Deebo Samuel, and they had Emmanuel Sanders last year, but they didn't have anybody that really stood out. This offseason in the draft, they went and picked up Ayuk out of Arizona State. J-Ro, you probably found him over there. I thought he wasn't talked about as much as Ruggs and Judy and CeeDee Lamb, but I thought he was the next best thing up there. Tito, once again, back to you. I'm gonna throw it back to you. What do you think? Do you like your wide receiver core going into the season?
Man, I had to go Google that dude, bro. Look, I don't understand why they didn't draft Lamb. I know I sent you all kind of text messages that night talking about I hate you, I hate the Cowboys, I hate Texas. I live it. I stay in Texas. I'm down the street from Fort Hood. Dallas is all around here. And I hated everything about it just because San Fran chose to replace DeForest Buckner and let Lamb go on over. Who does that? I'm stuck with it. So with the short off season again, the coronavirus and everything, I'm praying that the guy can get in there and do something. I know he's fast. I know he can catch. I know he's supposed to be a compliment to Deebo Samuel. I see what he's doing. If you pay attention to what Shanahan is doing, he's getting wide receivers that are tough. Look at what he did when he grabbed Pierre Gasson back in the day. He's looking for him that can run after the catch, big playability, and I hope the guy's it because he passed on a great, in my opinion, a good and possibly great wide receiver in Lamb to go to Dallas, which I hope y'all cannot pay nobody down there, so you just lose everybody. Like y'all finna pay Dak, but you can't. You already paying Amari. You already paying Zeke. Somebody gonna have to go sooner or later. I'm loving every minute of that.
Okay, guys, we're kind of running behind. We're gonna move on to a really fast, quick answers. We're gonna jump to the next subject real quick. Nick Bosa, in 10 seconds or less, can he keep it going? J-Ro.
What?
Nick Bosa, defensive end, 49ers. Can he keep it going?
He was the big guy chasing the little guy, your quarterback, around the field.
Oh, and by the way, I would like to make a comment.
Who was fast enough to stay away from him?
We called him.
Go ahead, Ramona.
Well, yeah, I know we're rushing, but I'm just going to say I think the biggest weakness was the Niners receiving core. Since I didn't get to mention anything.
I'm sorry.
But I do think that they've improved their wide receiving core, and I think it'll open it up. I think what they've done with the receiving core opens it up even more for Kittle.
Nope.
So,
without now, he's going to.
And yes, I think Nick Bosa can keep it going if he can stay healthy. Bosa don't leave the field. Usually his position, they trade in and out, and he doesn't. So if he can stay healthy, he absolutely can keep it going.
Yeah, buddy.
I agree with Ramona.
Okay. And last subject on the 49ers before we move on. Jimmy G. Really quick, guys. Really quick. Jimmy G. Tito, your guy. That's my quarterback. Can Jimmy G get y'all over the hump? 10 seconds or less. Go.
He needs to improve on his decision-making and accuracy. If he can do that, he can get us over the hump.
Okay. J-Ro.
No, I think he's too inconsistent.
Mona.
I think that if he, if he takes better care of the ball, and figures out where he's supposed to throw the ball, I think his decision making is his biggest downfall right now. He's got a great arm. He's accurate as can be, but I think sometimes he doesn't know where to go. So I think that's his biggest problem.
I totally agree with you. I think he's the weak link on the team. You look at, they got an elite defense, three-headed monster at the running back position. They're improving wide receiver core. A good coach. He's got to be better. So moving on, we started a segment a couple of weeks ago called "There's Levels to This." Meek Mill, I want to give you a shout out for that. Appreciate that. There's levels to this. Everybody in the comment section, you look at this. We got ABCD. Quickly, J-Ro, I'm gonna let you go first on this. Which row do you take? You're getting a team. You get ABCD. Who are you taking?
I'm taking A with big back Julio Jones, Travis, Steelers defense, and of course Russell Wilson. I'm a huge fan of him, so I'm taking A.
Mona.
D. Yep,
Patrick
I'm taking Mahomes, Elliott Evans, OBJ, Waller, and I think that's pretty much going to do it. Since I have Steelers on there.
I think you'll definitely put up some points for that. T. Loxa, who you got?
I'm going with D. I like Mahomes. Right now, he's the best quarterback in the NFL. And then Zeke, man, running backs. But you throw in Evans, Beckham, and tight end Holler. Yeah, I'll ride with them. But I mainly like Mahomes.
Okay. I'm taking A also. I like the mobility there, and I like big backs. I like big backs that just can beat people up. So last subject, last subject, and we're really going to cover.
This is not the last one. This is the next to last.
Next to that, I'm sorry. Who's better? If you had right now, quick one word answer, one name answer.
I can't do that. No, I work my ass off.
That's hard.
I'll leave it to you last. J-Ro and Tito. J-Ro, who you got? One name answer. Minka or Jamal?
I think Jamal, just because I think Minka's a big time ball hog. But Jamal has the edge, especially in man coverage.
Okay. Tito, who you taking?
I ain't gonna lie. I hate doing this, especially because of Ramona, but I like Minka. Minka.
I like Minka too. I think he's not Troy Polamalu, but he's a playmaker. He's a ball hawk. He's always around the ball. You can't go wrong with either one, but I like guys that take the ball away, can intercept the ball and take it to the house. And Mona, I'll leave. Go ahead, Ramona.
I appreciate that. You know what? What I don't get, and I really have a problem with this, and I wanted to show you guys this. Pro Football Focus ranked them with Jamal Adams being number one, Derwin James, Marcus Williams. Minka Fitzpatrick was like fourth. I don't even know where they placed him at, but he wouldn't in the top five. But now Minka Fitzpatrick leads in almost every category on their own page. He leads in almost every category. Passer rating allowed, 46.3. Jamal Adams, 75.2. Come on. That's a huge difference.
No doubt.
Completions allowed. Fitzpatrick only allowed 52% completions. Jamal, it's 55.30. Targets completed, 13 of 25. Jamal Adams, 21 of 38. Yards per target, 6.5. Jamal Adams, 4.9. All right, so he leads one finally. Touchdowns allowed in the game, 0.07. Jamal Adams allows 0.14. Interceptions. Minka Fitzpatrick has 5. Jamal Adams has 1. Defensive touchdowns. Fitzpatrick has 2 touchdowns. Jamal Adams has 2. Passes defended, target 0.36. Minka Fitzpatrick leads that one over Jamal Adams, 0.18. Forced fumbles and forced recoveries, both of them had 3 apiece. Age at 2020 kickoff, 23.8, 24.9. So there's a right out of year, a little over a year difference. Pro Football Focus ranked them Minka 17th, Jamal Adams 5th, Derwin James 4th, Marcus Williams at 15th. What? Come on, people. Wake up. This kid was playing for the Miami Dolphins and came to a stellar Pittsburgh Steelers defense and just did nothing. Everybody thought we were nuts. Thought we were nuts when we took this guy. And gave up a first and a third, I believe. Why?
Yeah.
Why would they? Why? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Will not ever understand why anybody would think that was a bad move. I just, yeah.
He
So anyway.
he definitely changed life for y'all.
Yes.
And last subject. One word, one name answer, guys. We got to get ready to get out of here. Who in this group here will sneak into the top 5 next year? J-Ro, I think I know where you're going to go, but go ahead anyway.
You already know my Kyler Murray.
Okay. T. Lokester.
Well, Kyler Murray ain't going to sneak in there. I think he'll already be a top 5 quarterback. If I had to pick somebody out of this group right here who probably looks like they suck, I would go with Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Mona.
If I'm going to go with one, I think that it's his turn. And I think Matthew Stafford has a great year this year. Made some great moves in the offseason. Pretty good draft picks. I could see the Detroit Lions actually having a really good year and Stafford being in the top 5.
Okay. And
Kyler Murray, I think, is already there. So.
Okay. And I'm going with Kyler Murray. I think the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, I think that just takes that offense to another level. And I also we keep forgetting we didn't really get a chance to talk about him. Kenyon Drake, I thought he changed life, able to receive the ball out the backfield. I think he's going to, for a full year, he came out of that swamp in Miami, and he had an opportunity to really shine over there. He doesn't have to worry about David Johnson. I think he takes over that backfield, and I think they do their thing. So that's it, guys. We squeezed as much in here as we could. Parting, any last words, J-Ro?
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
We appreciate it. Thank you for coming. You're welcome to come back anytime. Really appreciate you. Most definitely, I appreciate you. T. Lokester, last word.
Let's get it, guy. You know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
My bad. We on TV.
We will
Putting a mask on.
We will definitely talk about that after the show. Mona, my co-host, last word. Your mic is off.
Nope, sorry. I just want to thank everybody, all of our viewers who come in and watch us every week. Our guests for showing up and giving us some great football talk. I think that, we have a great show that goes well and everybody gets a say and gets to talk about, their thoughts on our subjects that we just, decide to talk about. So I just think that, thank you all. Thank you all for if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing this.
No doubt.
Bird gang.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you to the whole Rise Up family, the OnPoint Network, Ricky Williams, Yuri Barrows, Kellen, TC, Dre, Devon, Dennis Holmes. Thank you for setting us up to get on here on time. Thank you for everybody. I can't mention everybody here. We only got a little bit of time, but thank you for everybody tuning in. Make sure y'all tune in next week for the last part of our 8-part series where we'll be covering the AFC North. Thank you for everything. We're extremely humble. Thanks, J-Ro. Thank T-Lokes. Thank you, Ramona. I appreciate it. Everybody be safe out there. Wear a mask. Be safe. Make sure you're practicing social distance. And take care of each other. And we'll see y'all next week. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye. Check y'all later. Ready, down. Okay.